Hi friend, and welcome to Tassi Studio. I'm Tassi, and today I'm going to be talking to you about knitting tension. I have done a few things in the past that has not worked to improve my tension. However, I have found a technique that really helps me, and I want to share that with you. So if you stick around, we can do this together. Welcome to Tassi Studio. I'm Tassi, and today I'm going to show you ways of improving your tension when you're knitting. First, I'm going to show you today some of the things I did in the past that made my tension not as good. And then I am going to show you what you can do to improve that, and then show you how my tension looks today. So let's start with about a year or a couple years ago. I knit this sock. This was a scrappy sock that I made, and I made two of them. However, they were both really very big on me and very slouchy, and this slides all over the feet, and it was just not a very good combination. When I was doing that, I usually hold the yarn on my pinky, but the techniques that I'm going to show you later were not something that I use specifically and especially for knitting socks. I think that tension is very important on any of the projects that you make when you're knitting. However, for socks is especially important because it will determine the size of the socks that you're knitting. Then I went on to knit another pair of socks, and you can see that on this one I was starting to really, and I was hoping to really do a better job with the tension. However, even on this pair, you notice that the first pair was a lot bigger than the second one, and you can see that when I put one sock on top of the other, and see that I'm doing this, and the socks I made it with the same size needles, I made it with the same yarn, the same pattern, and they turned out two different sizes. It could be because sometimes our tension is different even from day to day. After all, we are knitting this by hand, and it all depends on how your day was, also how tense you were. So your tension depends on your how tense you are also, right? Or relaxed. But I have to say that some of the things that I have learned along the way have really helped me to improve my tension, and also to improve these little mistakes that we make, which makes the ladder on the size, or on this case on the bottom of the foot of this sock. So this year my objective was to knit more socks, but to knit more socks to learn a few different things. So what I learned from my mistakes was that if I wanted to knit great socks, if I was on the quest to knit the perfect socks, I had to practice. I had to knit more socks. And with that, I was also improving my tension, which I thought was pretty good on all the other projects that I was knitting. So I want to say here that I am showing here today several projects and several things that I made with this quest to knit the perfect sock. However, I have been using this technique and it has improved my tension for all of the things that I'm knitting. So I believe that this is something that can be helpful for everything and every project that you knit. So you can see now that this is the sock that I'm currently knitting using the techniques that I'm going to show you soon, and you can see the difference and the improvement on my tension. Can you see how loose these stitches are and how tight and more even? I have not blocked the socks yet, and to me it looks like they are already blocked. So I think that I have made, excuse me, significant improvement here. So let's start by showing you what I have been doing. I am going to show you on these socks, but I am going, and on these socks I am knitting on a longer cable sock needle, because I am knitting here on the socks. But you can do this on a straight needle also, and you can do this on any project. The secret is, first of all, to hold your yarn in a way that keeps tension, which means that your yarn is not going to just be freely going into the and loosely going into the fabric. Okay, so the way you hold it, it's going to be up to you and what makes you comfortable. I usually only loop around once, but for socks sometimes I loop around my pinky twice. Some people prefer to loop around this finger, but for me, I prefer to loop around my pinky. And then I am showing you right now with the Continental style, which is the way that I knit. However, I am going to try to show to you on English style also after I do this one part. Okay, one thing that it's important to do is when you start to knit, you put your stitches as close to the tip as you can, and then you start to knit, right? Then you kind of pull this to the barrel of the needle on this side. Another very important thing is to keep your stitches, once you let it go, keep them close together. Do not do this when you are knitting. So I am going to pass this stitch marker and show you again. The needle tip is right here on my left needle. The stitch is right there, which makes it pretty easy for me to pick up. Then I pick up the stitch, and they are still the two needles very close to each other. Then I let it go, and the stitch here is on this, on the right side is on the barrel of the needle. And then I am going to let this go a little bit just so I can show you, but I will keep my needles together like this. What is going to determine the size of your stitch is the barrel of the needle on the right side, on your right hand. So let's do this again. I put the stitch there, I knit that stitch, then when it's on the barrel of the right side needle, I let it go, and I keep this close to each other. So I'm going to knit at a much higher speed, and that's what I do. Okay, and once in a while you can tighten this, but don't tighten too much, because you want this needle to be the one that is determining the size of your stitches. So here we go again. this way, and continue to do it that way, where this here makes this stitch a little bit looser, or it makes the stitch have more space for you to put the needle in there. This way you don't need, if it was here, you have to actually pull it, right, on the stitch. If the stitch is here and it was already the right size for this barrel on the right side, on the right hand, then it makes for more space for you to put your needle there. Okay, so I'm going to show it to you now. I do not knit continental style, not in general, but I'm going to show you on continental style for you to see. I'm also waiting and making sure that when I pull, see, when I pull the stitch, that I am keeping, and I'm keeping tension on this hand also by wrapping the yarn on my pinky. So here you go again, and when we get to the end of this row, I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing when you're purling. And we'll just keep knitting until I get to the end of this row, and I will show you my stitches, and they might look a little bit different because I'm knitting two different styles, but I assure you that this, and you can see the proof on the other socks that I have knitted where I was not using this technique, and that they turned out looser and not very good tension. So here we go, and this is how I do purl with this same technique. Okay, I am doing this in continental style, and I am going to keep the stitches close to my hand. I am keeping the stitches on the left hand very close to the edge, and in the beginning, one of the biggest secrets, I think the biggest secret of all, is to make sure that you are actually practicing this a lot, but practicing with focus. So in the beginning, you might feel like it's more tense than meditative because you are trying something new. And as with any other thing that you do in your life, it takes time to learn a new technique, to learn a new thing. I'm not used to purling English style, but I'm gonna try my best so I can show it to you with the same technique. And you keep that close to the tip, as close as you can, then you let it go, and I let it go before I wrapped the yarn, and then you can see you can see this on the, that the stitching here is becoming more with a better tension on this needle. Okay, so I'm afraid that there's no magic trick, but the magic into knitting with better tension is practice, and practice with intention. So if you practice and practice and practice with focus, and focusing, in the beginning you might not be able to be watching a movie at the same time that you're doing this, but with time you'll be able to, because now I can do that. But in the beginning, just practice looking at what you're doing, staying focused, and just practicing. So I think that's it for me today, and I hope that this was helpful to you. I hope that this will help you do your knitting and get better tension on the works that you do. And if you're hoping to knit many socks like I am this year, I hope that will make your socks have a great improvement. Until I see you again, continue to do what makes you happy, and happy knitting. Ciao. Thank you for watching.